Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Couscous, and if you're hoping to come to the UK for your postgraduate studies either this year or next year or anytime soon, then you really want to stick around and watch this video to the end, and also subscribe to my channel because I have valuable content on postgraduate studies in the UK and everything that you need to know while you are studying here. For this video, I'm going to be talking about all the things you need to know before you come to the UK to study, especially now that there is a pandemic. Is it worth it? Are you going to get value for your money? Are you going to have the experience that you expected? So I'm going to be addressing all of that in this video and every other thing that you need to take into consideration before you make that move. And if you're yet to subscribe to this channel, now is the time to do that. It doesn't cost any fee. It's actually free. Do well to click the subscription button, ring the notification bell so that when I post contents like this, you will not miss it. I also post vlogs and other lifestyle content, so there is something for everyone. Before you make that move over to the UK to do your studies, there are so many things you should consider. Times have changed, things are different. It's no longer the same way it used to be before. Even if you did your undergraduate studies here and you're thinking of coming back, you need to know that things have changed and you need to take these things into consideration before you make a move. As much as I'm going to be talking about so many things, I have a very important point that I'm going to share with only those who stick to the end of this video. So if you wouldn't want to miss such a valuable information, then you have to stick around to the end of this video. The things that you should take into consideration before you move over to the UK are as follows. You need to consider your accommodation. Are you going to be staying in a student accommodation or in a private accommodation? Are you going to be staying with family or friends? In this pandemic, you need to be sure of where you're going to stay, because this is very different from other times where wherever you stay is fine. You can always meet people, you can always go out. Depending on the experience you want, you may need to rethink. Do you want to stay in a student accommodation? What are the advantages of staying in a private accommodation? For a student accommodation, you would have the opportunity to meet other students just like you, especially if you are an international student. So, in as much as you're coming to a new place, in as much as you're coming to a foreign land, you are going to meet people of like minds, and you guys are going to, as much as interactions are limited, you will still have people to talk to, you will still have flatmates, you will still have hallmates, and at least you will see people even though classes are online. What are the advantages of staying in a private accommodation? You're going to figure that out for yourself. If you need your quietness, if you need your space, if you don't want to share facilities like sharing the kitchen because the virus is real and you are more at high risk if you're living with people than if you're living alone. What is the cost like? Because sometimes the student accommodation may be much more expensive than private halls. The main reason people choose to live in student accommodation is because of proximity to school. But because most of our learning is online, you may want to reconsider if you want to pay a whooping sum just to stay in a student accommodation, or if you would rather spend lesser amount to stay in private accommodations. And also you need to consider the internet connection wherever you're going to stay, because it's online learning, of course, and you need crisp connection, crisp, flawless, like you need 100% good internet, because you can't be in lectures and then you're cut off or you're trying to reconnect. I live in a student accommodation. If you guys want to know what it looks like, let me know. If you guys need more details about my student accommodation, let me know in the comment section and I'll make more details available. And I have really good internet to some extent here. I've never really had any internet issues while connecting to my lectures. I know that some students who, maybe most of those who are not in London who logged in, usually sometimes found it difficult to connect to lectures either on time, or they're always cut off at some point, or while asking questions you hear the lecturer saying, "Oh my god, I can't hear you, the connection is bad," and all of that. So you need to consider where you're staying. First of all, do you think it is worth it to come over to the UK to do an online master's degree? And the thing is, it's not like online, it's just because of the realities of the pandemic. Like I said in my earlier video about how my first term experience was. If you haven't watched that video, then you need to watch it. I'm going to put like I'm going to link it here, so that after this video you can watch that video to know what it was like having to study this first term for me in Queen Mary University of London. And the experience might not have been really specific to Queen Mary, because most of this experience cuts across board, especially for schools in London. So you may want to consider, if you want to take the risk to come all over to the UK and then now take a private accommodation, and then you have to think about the internet connection, because that is all you need to get going. If your internet connection is good, you would enjoy your class. And then that is not to say that we don't have physical classes. Like I said, I had physical classes last year, and then we already got emails telling us that we were going to have more physical classes this year until the outbreak of the new coronavirus variant. So that is on hold for now. Like I said, it may not be the same for other schools, and you need to ask questions. You need to know what is going on in your school. If you know anybody who is studying in the UK at this point in time, you can actually forward this video to them so that they drop a comment in this video to enlighten people who want to go to their school, especially during this period. So that's it for accommodation. You need to know, is it worth it to pay for a student accommodation, or should I just go to a private place? Or if you're going to live with family, that is perfect. Living with family is good. You're going to cut bills, you're not going to spend so much, and then you're going to have family around. But if you're just going to live in a private accommodation where there are no people, you're just going to be alone, times have changed. You may actually stay in your room for a week, 2 weeks, 1 month without going out or meeting people. I have a colleague who stays in a private accommodation who said she hasn't met anybody for the past 1 week or 2 weeks thereabout. So you need to consider, are you the kind of person that survives alone, or do you need human interaction to survive? Because this will inform where you're going to pick your accommodation and how you want to live when you come over to the UK. Like I said, if you need me to do another video of the different accommodation options available for students, let me know in the comment section, and I will do that just for you guys, just because I love you and I don't want you to make any mistakes. So I share my experience here so that you won't make the same mistakes that I have made, so that you will understand what you're getting yourself into. So the next point I'm going to talk about is the fees. Especially as an international student, most of the universities in UK, you have to pay double of the school fees that the nationals here are paying. For instance, if the nationals here are paying £10,000, it means as an international student, you are likely to pay about £15,000 to £20,000. I know that my school, I paid about £23,000. Not like it's my money, it's Chimney's money. It's not my money. I'm studying with a fully funded scholarship, so I have no worries about fees. But the thing is, I have heard international students who are self-funded students complain about the fact that the fees are way too high for just coming to school and then having 80% of your academics online. They are saying it's not worth it. I can feel their pain. I can feel the pain of having to pay so much money as an international student, pay double of what other people are paying. It means you are actually going overboard to spend more money for your academic experience. And then you come over here and then you don't have as much experience as you would have expected. That is not to say that everything is bad. Everything is not bad. I have had fun actually studying. I have met my colleagues. I have had classes in school. Like, the experience is blended. That's what my school calls it. It's a blended learning experience. So before you pay that school fees, before you pay that £20,000, £15,000, £14,000, you need to ask yourself, do I need to pause and wait maybe in 2 years' time to come when things have gone back to normal, or should I take the risk? What is the experience that my school is giving to students? Is the school fees worth it? Should you reconsider? Maybe if you took a very expensive institution, you may choose a different institution that is less expensive, because it's very frustrating that you have to pay so much and then you're not getting as much value as you would have gotten if everything was in person. Thing is, for me, I'm fine with sending emails, with online meetings, most of my learning having to be online, but some people are not. Some people need to see their professors face to face. Some people need to sit in their professor's office for interaction, for clarifications, so that they may understand their courses better. So you need to ask yourself where you fit in, so that you will not come here and then you start regretting or thinking that you spent so much. But I still feel like it is worth it. Getting a master's degree is worth it, and every time is the right time. It's just the peculiarities of your case that you need to consider before you make that move. So if you are a scholarship student, if your academics, if your master's degree is fully funded, you may not have any issues, because it's not going to affect your stipend, it's not going to affect your school fees and all of that. But if you are a self-funded student, then you need to take some time and think deep. And then this leads me to the learning experience. Some schools in the UK at this point have moved all their learning online. So it's more like you're having an online school. You are doing an online. So it's more like you are taking your master's degree online. For me, I can't say the same because I have blended learning. It's not enough as much as I wanted, but at least I still get the opportunity to go to school. My library is still open. I still go there. You see students come to read. I live in a postgraduate accommodation, so you see students here and all of that. The school you are willing to go, what is the learning experience like? Is everything online? I even hear that some schools, their lecturers record their lectures ahead of time and then upload, and they just go and watch. I don't understand. I've not had that experience, and I don't know how I'm going to feel if that is my experience. But this is why you need to ask questions. This is why, in fact, I can actually do something for you guys. Drop the university you want to go, the university you're thinking of, just drop it in the comment section. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask a couple of friends, a couple of achieving scholars who are in these different schools of their experience, and I may reply in the comment section, or I may do a different video. Just let me know in the comment section what exactly you want to find out about which school, and I will do that just for you guys. If you're watching this video right now and you are yet to give this video a thumbs up, just click the like button. It's free. And if you're yet to subscribe, do well to subscribe, because when you like this video, YouTube is going to put it out there for more people, so that it will help people. This content, this information is very necessary, and you can only support by liking, by sharing a comment in the comment section. Okay, so I'm gonna move straight to the next point. So you need to ask yourself if you're capable of dealing with the academic demands that comes with it, especially because there is a pandemic and then everybody is trying to protect their mental space. You can't be in your room for 1 month and having to battle with schoolwork, assignments, coursework, lectures, and the deadlines that come with it. Master's degree in the UK is actually very demanding. It is very, very demanding. So you need to ask yourself, am I in the right place mentally, physically, emotionally to make that move? Socially, am I mentally stable? Am I prone to depression if I come and see that this whole thing is more than I can bear? You need to ask yourself these questions, because if you are not ready, you're basically going to break down. The academic work is much. I don't know about the course you want to take, but I know that my course as a postgraduate law student, it is hectic, it is tasking, and you need all the attention, you need all the focus, you need to put your best foot forward to get the best out of the experience. So if you're not mentally stable, if you're not in the right frame of mind, if you're not ready, if you know that this is not just the time for you to do some academic work that is very demanding and with very little human interaction, then you need to pause. You need to pause. You don't have to school now. You don't have to school next year. The schools are not running away. Or you can actually consider taking the online course back in your country. Maybe you don't want to come over to the UK, although coming over to the UK is fine, but just know yourself, know the state you are in, and know if it is the right time for you to come, because the academic work is demanding. Because there is a pandemic, or because most of the learning is online, does not mean that the academic work has reduced. No, it hasn't reduced. Instead, it has even increased, because one of those meetings, town hall meetings we had with my lecturer, he was kind of saying that because the restaurants, the pubs are not open, that it means we have more time on our hands, because other times when students usually go to school, have lectures, after lectures they want to go hang out, and it takes a lot of time. But because we are in our accommodations, taking the lectures online, then it means we have lots of time on our hands to study. And I'm like, how do you even know that? That I want to look at my computer every single time. Meanwhile, I didn't have any hard copy book, so I had to basically read online every single time. And sometimes I usually had like digital fatigue. So you need to think about all these things before you make that move. So when you plan to come over to the UK for your studies, you're looking forward to the UK experience, for the UK culture, and everything that comes with the city, especially if you plan to study in London. So you need to ask yourself, will I get all the experiences that I would have gotten without the pandemic? Of course, the answer is no. But now another question is, when will life get back to normal? Like, is this the new normal? Are we basically going to be like this? Are we going to do more shopping online? Are we going to have more deliveries without having to sit in at restaurants, without having those live shows? The experience might not be what you thought. It might not be what you have in mind. So you need to think about the experience. And the city that your school is in is actually very important. For example, I'm schooling in London. There's so many people in London. So even if there is lockdown, you go outside and everybody's outside. You'll be like, what is going on? I thought there was a lockdown. But what am I saying? I'm saying that you will always see people in London. You will go to malls, you will see people, you go everywhere. You can still have that social interaction. There are actually more schools in London than in every other place in the UK. So for instance, in London, you probably have like 20, 30 universities that are very good with international reputation. So people go there. Other than if you're studying at Essex, if you're studying at Kent, maybe just one school. Especially international students are few because of the pandemic. So many people did not travel over here. So you have to think about what the experience is going to be like for you. Are you going to have that as much good experience as you would have wanted? Or do you want to change your school to... I'm not saying come to London. London is expensive, okay? But just put a school that you know that more international students are going, and then the school has different policies that are friendly for students, especially during this pandemic, that is going to guide you to make your decision. So I have 2 points before I go, and then after those 2 points, I'm going to tell you guys the best thing that can ever happen to a student while schooling in the UK during this pandemic. And I'm so grateful that I'm actually schooling during this pandemic. You have to devise other means of having fun, because you're not going to go to the cinema, you're not going to go to shows, so you're going to have more online interaction, online meetings, online social gatherings, online trivia games. And then if you live in student accommodation, then you may have the opportunity to have physical interactions with your flatmates or your hall mates. You need to take that into consideration. You're going to have fun differently. You're going to have to adapt to the environment and to the different ways to make yourself happy, because it's going to be different. It's not the same. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about is financial expenses. And this is very important. Do you know that I've actually saved money coming to UK? Apart from the school fees that you have to pay, which I know that is a whopping amount of money as an international student, the living expenses has drastically reduced. Guys, in fact, if you need me to do a video about how much is enough for a month during this pandemic, definitely let me know in the comment section, because I ain't gonna do any video that you guys don't want. I'm not gonna do any video that you guys don't want, because I am here to serve you. So let me know if you need me to do any video like that or any other video at all. Definitely put it down in the comment section. So that takes me back to what I was saying. It is actually less expensive outside your school fees while studying in the UK during this pandemic, because your travel time has drastically reduced. Even your shopping time has reduced, because somebody like me, if I don't go out, I'm not gonna shop, and I will only shop online when it's very important. If I don't go out in a week, it means my shopping for that week has drastically reduced. My transportation cost has reduced. So I find myself saving more money than if it was a random or a normal time where you have to go out every day. If you check other times, people will tell you that, oh, it costs them so and so amount in a week, in a month, during studies, but it's going to actually shock you if I tell you how much I spend in a month during this pandemic. So I feel like for the financial side, it's actually a very good thing, because you would have to save money and not spend so much while still getting the good and quality education that your school has to offer. And that brings me to the bonus and most important point in this video. Guys, I think I'm just going to whisper. Like, people that are not interested in our content should not hear this tip. Okay, because we're studying in a pandemic, because we're trying to protect our mental space, because there's so much happening and we have to deal with so many things, the schools, especially those schools in the Russell group of schools, they are going to be more lenient in assessing students. They are going to be more empathetic, more sympathetic, more thoughtful, more careful, more friendly while assessing us. So guys, wouldn't you want to make use of such opportunity? I don't know about schools that are not in the Russell group of schools, so you need to make your findings. The university you're intending to go to, are they in the Russell group of school? If it is not, what are the policies that have been put in place to help to encourage students, knowing that they are dealing with so much during this time? It's not easy to have to, deal with so many changes in your life, and then you're having to study. And especially if you're an international student, you're coming to the city for the first time, you're trying to get used to the city, you're trying to get used to the academic system, the social environment, cultural, and everything. So you need to ask questions, ask your school, send them emails, ask students that are studying in those schools that you are interested in, what is the academic policy, what is the assessment policy? Is it done in such a way that will favor you? Or if not, then you need to rethink. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for staying to the end. There's so much that I want to talk about, but time will not permit me. I'm definitely going to do them in the next video. I just have so much to talk about, so much for you guys to know. So you definitely do need to stick around to this channel. And if you're here to subscribe, you would like to subscribe so that you wouldn't miss all the valuable content that I'm definitely going to give you. I'm sure that there's so many videos you haven't watched on my channel. You need to look around, and I have so much content now, so you need to look around and binge watch all the videos that you've missed. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram as well at I am Couscous, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye bye.